Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Another day. I just kind of took it easy today. Been pretty sore after the past few days of being hard at it. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of stuff rearranged. Got our electrical stuff, the majority of it, now in the kitchen. So I'm able to get more stuff out of the closet so that I can actually put more food and other supplies in the closet. So, step by step process. When you got a small home, you have to figure out ways to make it work. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have to find these creative ways. That I have to, I have a reason to need to find creative ways to store. Because I'll tell you what, that black bean burger, I'm banking on that stuff, but I'm sure to be just fine, and that's really gonna give us an edge. That's really gonna shove us forward. So, other news, I was looking earlier, and I was just checking because one of the headlines we'll be talking about. So I was checking on what the story was on the particular coffee that I drank, and where Walmart is on that, because it's been, if you could find it, it was really expensive and being sold by third-party sellers. And it was just Folgers, but it was the 100% Colombian Folgers. That's what I like. And it wound up, they actually have it in stock, and it's a little higher than it used to be, but it is in stock, and it is available here for local pickup even. So that's good. I'm gonna start stocking. I had initially quit buying coffee because of the amount of coffee I had, but apparently, and I've been kind of trying to gauge how much I'm using. We get the big, I think they're 43 ounce. 37. I'm sorry, 37 ounce containers, and I will go through one in just shy of a month. So, yeah, I'm just wanting to make sure that, I'll tell you what, I want to make sure that I've got enough coffee to last me longer than I have food. So, and I'm being serious about that. Anyway, let's see, aside from that, kind of a bittersweet day for me today. Today is my oldest boy's birthday, so he's 29 now. Haven't spoke with him for quite some time, and it is what it is. I hope someday he decides to reach out, but that's all I can do. My mom did everything she could to put a wedge in between him and I, and was clearly pretty successful. So there's reasons I don't have anything to do with my family, and in my opinion, when you come between a father and their children, you're about the lowest scum of the earth that there is. So probably will never forgive my mother and never will forgive my ex-wife. So both cases could have been handled much differently, but because of their spite, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I married somebody that was just like my mother. But anyway, let's see. Other than that, just been kind of going through news, keeping up on news. Went for a short flight in the flight simulator today, not long. I really haven't. I was wanting to get some flying in over the weekend, but that just wasn't going to be a possibility. So, and I was just now checking for an update. But yeah. Other than that, just the same old. I do have several tabs open for you. Things to discuss. Let's see, what have I got? 7, I guess. We have a sip of coffee. I'm actually almost already out of coffee, so I got my backup tea setting over here. Because, yeah, I'm firing through the coffee tonight. It was like, I don't know, 5 or so after 7. And normally, I'm going to get my other cup about 10 till 8. And it was about 5 after 7, and my cup was pretty empty, the first cup. Then I went back for the second. Anyway, guess we'll jump on in, we'll get this stuff covered, and I'll go relax. I don't know, I didn't feel like I really slept real good last night. Hopefully I sleep a little better tonight. Probably the dog's fault. She probably gets up there and kicks me and bites me. She's evil like that. Alright, so as the headline or the title of the show says, White House coronavirus czar resigns. I know you're all highly upset. Now this here says Dr. See? I mean, it's just got me all choked up. Dr. Anthony Fauci announced on Monday, see, I'm telling you, that he will step down as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and as President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor. Fauci, the architect of Biden's coronavirus policies, had earlier said he would resign or design, whatever, before the end of Biden's term in office. In a statement released by the NIAID, Fauci said that he will leave his positions in December, having served for 38 years as head of the NIAID and as Biden's chief medical advisor since the start of the president's term last January. Fauci said that while he will leave these posts, he is not retiring. The 81-year-old doctor said that he would continue to advance science and public health and to inspire and mentor the next generation of scientific leaders, or liars, overseeing Biden's response to COVID-19 and advising former President Donald Trump on the virus. Fauci became a deeply divisive figure, with liberals and Democrats viewing him as a representative of science itself. You gotta have the echo there, right? And Republicans and conservatives seeing his vaccine and mask mandates as tyrannical. Fauci's public statements did little to allay the concerns of the right, with the doctor once accusing his critics of criticizing science because I represent science. Yeah, I remember that. Good times, right? His admission that he misled the public about how many Americans would need to get vaccinated to achieve herd immunity furthered this mistrust. Fauci himself tested positive in June. Despite having received 4 vaccine doses, he tested positive a second time 2 weeks later in what he called a rebound case experienced by some who take a course of Pfizer's antiviral drug Paxlovid. As he announced his resignation, data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention showed the U.S. recording a weekly average of just under 94,000 cases of COVID-19 per day, down from a spike of 475,000 in January, but higher than any point during the summer months of 2020 and 2021. Deaths linked to the virus have fallen from an average of more than 2,700 in January to 392 last week, roughly on par with figures from the previous 2 summers. Fauci's resignation was not completely unexpected. In an interview with Politico last month, the doctor said that he would leave before the end of Biden's first term in office in January 2025, describing the current state of the virus in the U.S. as steady. Fauci predicted that Americans would in the future be asked to take yearly or twice-yearly vaccine shots in a bid to keep it at bay. Well, you know what to say. Um, you know what they say. You can in one hand and wish in the other. See which one comes first. All right. Global coffee prices about to soar. This is probably why most people would click on this video. Holy crap. I mean, I know, right? Hang on. Take coffee very seriously. Anyway, back to the news. A reduced coffee crop yield in Brazil, the world's largest grower, may cause a sharp increase in coffee prices around the world in the coming months, the Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday. According to trading data, coffee futures surged almost 90% last year. After drought and frost affected Brazilian production, coffee prices spiked to a 10-year high in February at $2.59 a pound and remain higher than previous years, up 18.06% year on year as of last week at about $2.23 a pound. Market analysts expect further price increases because of the specifics of coffee harvesting in Brazil. It was traditionally run on a 2-year cycle, with farmers collecting larger volumes in Arabica and even-numbered years. However, due to extreme weather in 2021, expectations for this year's harvest are low, especially given surging costs of fertilizers and transport. In addition to Brazil, plantations in Colombia and another major coffee exporter were also affected by wetter than normal weather. According to some estimates, the Wall Street Journal notes, this year's yields on some farms are expected to be down 50%. According to the International Coffee Organizations, that's something to be a member of, July 2022 report, global coffee consumption is expected to increase and outpace production by the end of the year, which, along with falling yields, could send coffee prices to new record highs. So, take that as a warning and stock up on coffee. Should have already done that. But if you haven't, you might want to get on it, because prices are already up. It's roughly about $4 more for that the plastic thing of coffee that we get. Like I said, 37 ounce. It's up about $4. It was 9 something for that container. Now it's 14 something. So definitely going up. I don't know what the hell is all going on. I still haven't set any of my own ringtones or notification tones or anything, so let's see. More Americans suffering than ever before. Well, especially if our coffee runs out. The percentage of Americans who say that they are suffering rose to 5.6% in a Gallup poll published on Monday. This number has been climbing steadily since last summer and is currently higher than at any point during the 2008 recession or the 2020 coronavirus pandemic. Gallup's Quality of Life Index rates respondents as thriving, struggling, or suffering based on how they rank their present life situation and expected future situation. A score of less than 4 out of 10 is seen as suffering, while 7 or above is categorized as thriving. While 59% of Americans said they were thriving last November, that number has since fallen to 51% as of this July. The drop is not as severe as the 46% recorded during the first wave of lockdowns and job losses in the spring of 2020, or the 46.4% seen during the stock market crash of 2008. However, a suffering figure of 5.6 is the highest ever recorded by Gallup since it began measuring in 2008. It comes after a previous record of 4.8% that was set in April, and has climbed upwards since 2.8% last July. The pre-2022 high of 4.7% was reached in December 2008, shortly after the Dow Jones suffered its largest single-day loss in history. The apparent increase in suffering comes as poll after poll shows that Americans are pessimistic about the state of the U.S. economy and rate these economic concerns above all other issues. U.S. inflation rate currently stands at 8.5%, slightly down from the 9.1% in June. With prices of food, fuel, and consumer goods rising, the Biden administration has spent lavishly, with the president allocating more than $54 billion since February for military and economic aid to Ukraine, and passing a lavish climate, healthcare, and tax reform bill earlier this month. While the bill is named the Inflation Reduction Act, the Congressional Budget Office has noted that it will saddle middle-class Americans with around $20 billion in additional taxes over the coming decade, whilst having a negligible impact on inflation. President Biden has attempted to blame rising prices on Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russia's military operation in Ukraine, repeatedly using a phrase Putin's price hike in his speeches. However, just 11% of Americans believe that Putin is responsible for high gas prices, and Biden's approval rating has continued to fall, reaching a new low of 38% in a Gallup poll in July. So, and yes, I get it's RT, and that is propagandish, but is it wrong? Not wrong. It kind of sucks. Including, now I'm out of coffee. That's it. Show's over. No, I'm kidding. Get the hell out of Let's see. U.S. school votes to ban LGBT and BLM flags. I thought, oh hell. And it's up in Wisconsin. A Wisconsin school board has voted in favor of banning and removing all LGBT, Pride, and Black Lives Matter flags from its classrooms, saying they represent political messaging. I would agree. According to Fox 6, Superintendent Stephen Plum explained that the vote, which took place last Tuesday, meant that the teachers and administration of Wisconsin's Kettle Moraine School District would not have political flags or religious messaging in their classroom or on their person. Specifically, the board voted in favor of keeping in place a code of conduct which prohibits school staffers from using their positions to promote partisan politics, religious views, and propaganda for personal, monetary, or non-monetary gain. Superintendent Plum says that this policy is interpreted by the Wisconsin School District as meaning that the teachers are prohibited from displaying political and religious messages in classrooms, including ones such as gay pride, BLM, MAGA, or We Back the Badge flags and signs. It also prohibits using preferred pronouns in email signatures. The vote was held after a number of students and community members objected to the policy, arguing that such flags signaled to students that the school was a safe space for them and that the ban on such messaging was setting students up for academic and society-based failure and affecting the community. 2 high schoolers in the district also launched a Change.org petition ahead of the vote, calling to overturn the policy, which gained some 13,000 signatures. Christine Donahoe, an attorney with the American Civil Liberties Union of Wisconsin, also slammed the policy, arguing that it looks like targeted attacks at specific viewpoints like LGBT communities and or welcome and safe spaces to students of color. Well, you know what? they can't wear anything pro-God either, according to the rules. So I would say get over it. I mean, I understand it. You're supposed to be there to learn, you know? And while I don't have any issue with teaching religion in school as an option, not as a necessity or a requirement, absolutely, you know, if that's a separate thing, right? But as far as all this other stuff, no, it doesn't need to be in the schools. The kids are there to learn. They're not there to explore their sexuality. They're there to learn. That's the whole reason you go to school. Not to find out whether you're transgender or not. It's crazy. Brits to fire up wood stoves to avoid freezing this winter. And we've talked a lot about what's going on over there in their situation. Suppliers of firewood in Britain project sales to soar by a fifth during the upcoming winter, as millions of households may opt to fire up wood stoves to help cope with soaring energy bills, the Daily Telegraph reported on Friday. I'll tell you what, I bet it's going to go up way more than a fifth. According to Nick Snell, managing director at Certainly Wood, the UK's largest firewood supplier, demand has already started to grow as consumers begin preparing for the onset of colder weather. People are starting to stock up now, but I'd imagine we could see a 10% to 20% increase in demand this coming winter because firewood prices have increased, but nowhere near the rise seen in energy prices, Snell said, as cited by the media. He pointed out that the amount of firewood needed to maintain a fire on evenings and weekends throughout the winter would cost around £600 or $710, while households heating homes using gas or electricity are expected to face spiraling energy bills over the coming months. Soaring prices for gas and electricity, along with high volatility in energy markets, are forcing regulators and analysts to bump up their already grim forecasts. According to the latest outlook from the UK independent energy consultancy Auxiliary One, average annual energy bills in Britain will soar to £6,000 or nearly $7,100 in 2023. People working from home are projected to be paying £683 or $808 per month by January. Per month. $808 per month. Insane. Insane. I have no idea how people are going to be able to do it. No idea. But hey, government can always fix it, right? They always got great ideas, right? Especially when it comes to using your money. Always got the greatest of ideas. Brits will be paid to go without power-hungry appliances, says the media. Told ya. The UK's national grid will offer rebates to consumers who avoid using appliances like washing machines, cookers, and game consoles during the evenings, several media outlets reported on Monday. Despite coming at a time of rising bills and the threat of blackouts, the service insists it's not about rationing. The scheme will see households with smart meters offered up to, with smart meters, you see that, offered up to £6 or $7 per kilowatt hour to leave these appliances off during 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., Express reported. The average washing machine uses between 400 and 1400 watts of energy per hour, meaning a 1,000-watt machine running for an hour would use 1 kilowatt hour, possibly entitling its owner to a £6 rebate. The National Grid, which operates the UK's electricity infrastructure, will reveal further details about the scheme, hey, at least they call it right out, in the coming weeks, following consultations with the UK's energy regulator, Ofgem. According to reports, the National Grid wants the scheme in place by October, when the energy price cap is set to be lifted again, potentially bringing annual bills up to £3,576. Freaking insane. Further increases in the price cap could bring bills up to £6,000, nearly $7,100 by April 2023. Combined with an inflation rate that's predicted to hit 18% next year, Britain's energy crisis could see millions of people unable to afford either food or heating, London Mayor Sadiq Khan warned on Saturday. Nevertheless, a National Grid spokesman told Express that the rebate scheme was definitely not about people sitting in the dark or volunteering to be cold. It's about doing the washing at a different time of day, that sort of stuff. When the plan was first reported earlier this summer, the Energy Corporation told a similar story, assuring the BBC that it is not about energy rationing. So, regardless, British officials are reportedly getting tongue-tied, preparing for a reasonable worst-case scenario in which gas and power supplies could be interrupted in January. I think they're gonna be. I think what they're considering is still taking in some gas from like Nord Stream. I have a feeling that's gonna get cut off totally. When that happens, you're going to see their situation get exponentially worse quick. And I thought this was a little bit crazy. These platforms should not have this ability. Twitter bans 7 embassies. Accounts of 7 Serbian embassies and a consulate in the U.S. have been suspended by Twitter, the foreign ministry in Belgrade said on Monday. Serbia has asked Twitter to unblock the accounts, arguing that such censorship of a pro-European democracy that upholds freedom of speech was unacceptable. The embassies in Armenia, Ghana, Iran, Indonesia, Kuwait, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe had their accounts suspended on August 18th, the Serbian Foreign Ministry said on Monday. The same happened to the consulate in Chicago in the U.S. state of Illinois. The suspensions happened without any explanation or prior notice of a possible violation of the social network's rules. Without getting into Twitter's business policies, we note that it is unacceptable to censor diplomatic offices of a democratic state that has not been sanctioned in any way, said Belgrade. Serbia is a country that is strategically committed to membership in the European Union and our political and democratic standards, including media freedoms, are adjusted to be in line with the highest European standards, the Serbian Foreign Ministry said in a statement. Therefore, it is absurd that a series of our diplomatic and consular offices were censored on a social network that boasts of promoting democracy and diversity of opinion. Pardon me. Belgrade hopes the ban is not part of an attempt to thwart or silence Serbia in its struggle for the truth, in particular about the situation in Kosovo, the foreign ministry added. 16 individuals, including 13 MPs from the ruling Progressive Party, were likewise suspended without explanation last week. Among them was Arnaud Goulion, the French foreign aid worker currently employed as head of the Foreign Ministry Office for Cooperation with the Diaspora. His account has since been restored. On the day Twitter targeted Serbian accounts for suspension, Serbian President Alexander Vučić met with Kosovo Albanian authorities in Brussels. The talks, mediated by the U.S. and the EU, were supposed to resolve tensions in the breakaway province. NATO occupied Kosovo after the 78-day war in 1999 and handed it over to the ethnic Albanian separatists, who declared independence in 2008 with U.S. support. Belgrade refuses to recognize the government in Pristina, in which it is supported by Russia, China, and about half the world's countries. So, More bickering over land. Fun times. Got a fair amount of headlines today, but not too bad, I guess. Oh, hell. It's only 35 after? I kind of whipped through that a lot quicker than I expected. I wanted to read you the articles. I mean, not like a Playboy where you just look at the pictures, right? Just kidding. Alright, let's see. Reckon I'll just do headlines and we'll jiggy on out of here a little quick tonight. Why not? I know a lot of drainage. Don't know why. That should be a song. A punk song. I know, no it shouldn't. U.S. cop suspended over brutal beating video. I think that was the one in Arkansas. Oops. Hang on. Yeah, Arkansas. I know, Arkansas. Arkansas. Telling you. U.S. and South Korea launch major war games. China's tourism forecast issued. Let's see. Brits to fire up. Oh, I read that one. Zelensky warns against putting neo-Nazis on trial. Let's see. Russia assesses possibility of ending Ukraine conflict. Top diplomat comments on U.S.-Russian strategic dialogue. ISIS suicide bomber en route to India intercepted, says Russia. Serbia issues warning to NATO. European gas costs soars. Nord Stream shuts down home or looms. Something I can't read. Dancing Finnish PM sparks online splash mob. Donbass responds to Zelensky's Russia ultimatum. I don't know why I can't read. Borrell opposes full visa ban for Russians. Germany rules out nuclear to save gas. India to accept Russian debt and credit cards, says media. Charges filed against former Pakistani PM. Russia blames Ukraine for deadly Moscow blast. German companies reveal cost of leaving Russia. Russian actors may attempt to split society, says German intelligence. Covered that. North Korea plans to deal a blow to Biden, says Seoul's ex-spy chief. Well, I mean, Biden probably swings that way. Why not? Raging bull charges through Israeli bank. U.S. commits to talks on frozen Afghan funds, says Reuters. Let's see. Turkey doubles Russian oil imports, says data. I know, I couldn't resist slipping that in there. Russia releases video of suspected Moscow car bomber. Some chick. Kind of scary looking chick. I mean, she definitely looks like somebody that you would expect would assassinate your ass. Anyway. Oh, I covered that. EU country says Euro should be optional. We should kill as many Russians as we can, says a Ukrainian envoy. Let's see. 2 civilians die after Ukraine attacks Key Bridge. This is one that I didn't put up, but I probably should have. EU considering big Ukraine mission, says top diplomat. Remember, I was telling you about how the British soldiers, which are UK, are being told to prepare. And so this is the EU that's kind of speaking in the same language. So, let's see. Beijing censors another Hollywood movie. Russians name key national symbols. Putin comments on journalist murder. Zelensky troubled as he questions inner circle's loyalties, says Erdogan. Euro slips below dollar. Dugan reacts to daughter's murder. Monsoon rains kill dozens in India. UN calls for investigation of Dugina murder. Hard-partying Finnish PM's drug test results revealed. And of course, she knows she's innocent. Twitter bans 7... I covered that. Let's see. Poland blasts EU over imperialistic tendencies. Google labels parents as sex offenders for photos of own naked toddlers, says New York Times. Yeah, and apparently some of these cases have even been cleared by law enforcement, and still they're still labeled. It's kind of crazy, but anyway, that's what I got for you. I'm gonna sneak out kind of early and just kind of chillax for the rest of the evening. Probably go to bed early. So anyway, I am out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.